Good morning, guys, and welcome to my channel. So today, by the title, as you guys can see, I will be sharing my 2-week wait symptoms before a big fat pregnancy positive. And you can see I have a little 8-month-old. Me and my husband did decide that we want to have, oh goodness, that we did want to have another one, that they would be really close, as the next one will be our last sweet little baby. And that's why we decided that we wanted them to be close in age, that they can be best friends, hopefully. I tried to journal as much as I could, but with this pregnancy, I actually didn't have much symptoms as my last pregnancy with him. And this time I did not have cramping either, but I think it's just because my body was it's still trying to regulate. It was still trying to regulate from still breastfeeding him, as I still am breastfeeding him. And actually my period just came in end of November, and then it came, but I thought that was implantation bleeding at first. It came end of December, which is about 30 days, but usually my period comes every 35 days. So I thought it was maybe implantation bleeding, but I think it was my period bleeding, but it was only 2 days of light bleeding. So I had 4 days of like light spotting with discharge, which I called my OB, and they said that to test in a week, that it's most likely implantation bleeding. And then after those 4 days, I had 2 days of light bleeding, and I still took a test about a week later, but it was negative. And then like a day or so later, I ovulated because I had ovulation pain. But aside from that, that is how I knew I was ovulating, and I only ovulated a week later after the bleeding. So not 2 weeks after the normal. Usual is you have your period, 2 weeks later you have your ovulation, and then 2 weeks later you have your period. That is about average. Sometimes it's a little bit off and on. So I had on ovulation, I had pain and discharge, and then the day after, I was tired, and I did also have some discharge as well. On 2DPO, I was feeling a little bit more tired than usual. I was feeling unmotivated, and I was a little bit more moodier than usual. And I also had a sensitive stomach, like a little bit of an upset stomach. On 3DPO, I also felt unmotivated, and so that lasted for about 3 days where I really felt very unmotivated. And I knew that wasn't myself, because I usually like cleaning the house and I love having the house clean, but those days I just like, meh, I don't care about the house. I don't feel motivated to clean at all, and I barely did anything those days. And then 4DPO and 5DPO, I felt much better, and I felt like myself, and I felt actually okay, and I didn't really feel any symptoms. Hey, look. Oh, Beth, did you fall over, mister? Did you fall over? Did you fall over? Did you fall over? Yeah, I do. So, I didn't really have any symptoms the next few days until like 7DPO. I started to have a few days. I had hot flashes during the day for a little bit. Oh, baby. but I didn't really pay attention to that because I wasn't really expecting to be pregnant, so I just kind of brushed it aside. The next day, 8 DPO, I had hot flashes again, and I had a headache, and I did have a headache a few days before as well. That was probably, so I didn't write it down, but I remember having a headache for almost like 5 days straight, and that was probably in those days where I felt unmotivated. That was probably another reason why I felt unmotivated, is having a headache. And then I felt, I started having harder to, I started having a little bit harder to breathe in a mask. So when we went to a store, it was usually, when we went to a store before, like, I would usually not like wearing a mask. It was a little bit, obviously restrictive in breathing. But since I got pregnant, I didn't know I was pregnant yet. Obviously, it's in the 2-week wait. I noticed that it was much harder for me to breathe in the mask, and I was getting very antsy and uncomfortable. That one time I even felt a little bit dizzy. 9 DPO, I felt a little bit more sleepier than usual, and I had insomnia at night, which was not fun. And I've already had that for 3 or 4 times, where I would wake up and it would be hard for me to go back to sleep. So 10 DPO, I was hungrier, and I had a headache again, and I was tired, so I went to bed a little bit before 9. It was like 8:40, 8:50, which I usually never do. Lately I've been like staying up until like 10, 11, but this time I went a little before 9 to bed. I think 11 DPO, I also had insomnia, and I woke up hungry at night. I could not go back to sleep until I would eat something. And then at 12 DPO is when I got my positive pregnancy test. And so I took this at 12 DPO, and you can see that I'm currently 17 DPO, so 5 days. And then I also took it Walmart brand. This is the first one I took, which I probably shouldn't have, but I didn't think I was pregnant, so I didn't want to, use the expensive pregnancy test. But this is this one, which now you can see really good, but it's still a little bit spotty. So I was like, I can see a line in here, but it's very, very light and faded. So I'm like, I gotta take the expensive test. So 13 DPO, I had night sweats, insomnia again, which right now it's not that terrible. It's just once, when I would wake up once at night and have insomnia, and it would take me about an hour to go to bed, so not terrible. I also had an upset stomach, and I had no appetite. I didn't have a dinner because I just didn't have an appetite, and I didn't want to eat. And then last 14 DPO, I also had insomnia. I guess I have a lot of insomnia. And I couldn't sleep until like 8 something. And then I had a slight upset stomach. So big thing is I had hot flashes a few days, upset stomach, and I had insomnia at night. I don't feel like I need to pee more than often. I don't need to wake up at night to pee a whole bunch, which is usually the case. And if I wasn't really trying to get pregnant and I wouldn't be journaling down, I would probably not know that I'm pregnant, because it's a light upset stomach. Like sometimes I have just a upset stomach from something I ate, not generally, you know, something that's out of the blue that I notice a lot. I also know there's signs of like tender breasts, which I had that with my first pregnancy, but not with my last or this one. But that is it. Yeah, that are all of my pregnancy symptoms that I had in this 2-week wait. And hi. And if you are watching this video, then you must be in your 2-week wait, and I hope you get your big fat positive. If not, there will be a month when you will get this little cute little baby to yourself. Kitty baby. Yes. Mwah. Can you say hi? Can you say hi? Say hi. Hi. No. Hopefully this video was a little bit helpful to some of you, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.